Hello and welcome, my Patreon friends. Sorry, just finished that reading. Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. What a day. What an exciting day. We're looking at the week to come. I know that we started to explore this in Friday's reading when I was doing the full moon, the lunar eclipse reading. And I wanted to, make sure that we didn't miss out. My table doesn't seem right here. Here we go. I didn't want to miss out on other opportunities and other possibilities that the week has, because there's more than the lunar eclipse and the full moon going on. So I wanted to piggyback off what happened on Friday and explore more what we can expect for the week to come. It's hard to believe that we are already into the final week of May. This is the final full week of May. Yet here we are. We have, let's see, there's 7 more days left in May, and then we're into June already. 2021 is really picking up speed. It's so crazy to know that we're so far into May. So this week, what we want to look at is how we can still use that information and insight that the full flower moon and the lunar eclipse shared with us on Friday, and give us a little bit more insight on how we can use this week to our advantage. The decks I've chosen for this reading, I went with the Wizard's Tarot. I love the imagery. It is so bright. It's so beautiful. And then I have paired it with the Witch's Compendium Oracle. Now, this one isn't as well known as some decks. We tend to favor the ones that are in mainstream, and this was a Kickstarter. The creator has not sold this on YouTube or on like Amazon. You have to get it from her Etsy site. So you don't see this as much in mainstream, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I love this deck. So I know that the pair of them are going to support us in gaining that insight that we want for this week. Now, like always, I do have links below to both these fantastic decks. So should either or both of them speak to you, you can go check them out for yourselves. I don't know what's in stock or what's left on the Witch's Compendium, but I'm sure if you reach out to her, she is a fantastic woman, very kind when I asked her questions. So I'm sure she'll get back to you with whatever information you need. So, okay. Thankfully, I'm not far from the ground. What can my friends expect from the week of May 23rd to the 29th? Can I tell you, when I was doing that in my old format, and it would go under the table because it was my kitchen table, it was quite high, I would have them float under all the equipment, and I was trying to like jimmy myself into the equipment to get it out. That's great. So I don't know what card fell first, so we're just gonna bring them all out together. So gorgeous, isn't it? The Weaver. Talk about taking one string or one aspect and very, very precisely weaving it in to that tapestry of your life. There are going to be opportunities. There are going to be emerging aspects that are coming forward this week. We need to take that time. That's the one thing that the full moon said to you. We need to take this time and work on self. It is the full flower moon. Giving ourselves that time to weave that tapestry, to create that more full self. And it is a creation, because we're taking aspects and pieces from different timelines, from different cultures, from things that we are researching and connecting with. Because that's the one thing we can say in this lifetime. We have more knowledge and the ability to obtain knowledge at a rate that is substantially faster and more accurate than than any other time. So we have a lot to weave in. I can see why they all came out at the same time. The Explorer. We can't be afraid to go outside that comfort zone. We get into this little box and we don't want to get up because, oh my God, what if, what if, what if? And I can tell you those what ifs will be crushed with the full moon lunar eclipse. We need to take that deep breath. These two very much go hand in hand. Like I just said, we have so much at our fingertips. We need to start to amalgamate the two, using the two's expertise to our advantage to create what it is that we need in this lifetime right now, knowing that things change. The Wayfarer. I love it when I start talking and look down, I'm like, oh, this is exactly the card I'm just talking about. Those directions, that pathway forward, it's going to change. It needs to change because as we progress, those opportunities open up so many more doors. Instead of having a crossways of 4, it opens up to 5, 6, 8. You have forks upon forks because you start to see all these great things. And you know what? Taking it in its own self isn't great enough. That Explorer comes out and you get that weaving. Here, the weaving. And you start I'm going to take that one and that one. We're going to, and look at that. Not being afraid to take opportunities and start to, well, not push them or try and squish them into something, but to create that beautiful tapestry. You weave it in together in a way that's high vibrational for you and others. We don't want to take away from any one person. We want to amplify that love and light, not use others to try and get ourselves forward, because that's low vibration. That doesn't work in the long run. Sure, they may get all the fancy cars and all the shiny bits, but they're hollow because they haven't worked at it in a high vibrational way. There are many people that are very high vibrational. They have lots of abundance, and it's just not that monetary piece. Because when you are so solely focused in on that monetary piece, that physical material wealth, that's when you start to lag in others. You feel unbalanced, and there's a lot of health concerns that come with it because we are so hyper-focused in on trying to make the money. We're so hyper-focused in on that end result. We're missing out on that journey. Abundance in all aspects is so important. So let's look at this week. We know this is going to be a great week. The lunar eclipse full moon combo reading I did on Friday was fantastic. I love it when we can sit down and explore a part of the week. And for sure, we can already engage in and embrace this divine feminine energy of the full moon right now. And after the lunar eclipse, depending on where you are, Tuesday, Wednesday-ish. It's not just a one-time thing because we have so many time zones. We have 2 days after that too. It's fantastic. The 10 of Cups. One of the family cards. And I do believe you guys got this in the reading that I did on Friday. The 10 of Cups came in. We're looking at that support, that familial support. And no, it does not mean just your blood family. That familial support comes in with that very intimate and bonded relationship whether that be through marriage, adoption, or even those friends that have been with you since the 6th grade and they're always there for you. The most important aspect is that those are the people that have that positive, balanced relationship with you. And I may sound like a broken record, but some of us signed up for something that isn't a long-term healthy situation with people who are supposed to be in our family. Sure, we may hold a bit of a genetic bond to them. That doesn't mean that they're part of our family. It takes a lot more to be a family member than just blood. Not to mention, because we are looking at that cup, we are looking at the astral family, which is a stronger bond than that genetic factor, if you will. They're there for us as well. Now, if you've never connected in with your astral family, which can be challenging because you don't really know who they are, and some of them are actually incarnated with you now. Well, I did a meditation back, I believe, in October of last year with Archangel Mario, where we looked at connecting in with not only an astral family member, but a tool that would really support you in whatever it is you're trying to do at the time. I did mention this meditation in my Friday's reading, and it's such a fantastic reconnection on a variety of levels. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you find the guidance and the healing that you're looking for here. I have 3 playlists now of tools. They're all meditations at the moment. And I say at the moment, guys, little sneak, there's more to come. Tools that you can use to your advantage. Now, the 2 playlists, so I have magpies in my backyard that are deciding to have a bit of a chit chat. I have 2 playlists. My Healing with the Archangels, where you'll find the Archangel Mario meditation, and my Just You and Me meditation, which is just you and me, working on a tool to support you. Those meditations are all about 30 minutes long. I have a 3rd playlist that's called Short and Sweet, which is about 5 to 10 minutes long. All my meditations are guided. Most importantly, they're all free with no strings attached. If any advertisements or anything like that play, that's a YouTube thing, and I receive nothing. I don't ask for anything for them. They're tools, they're supports for you. So back to Archangel Mario, he can help you connect in and start to receive some extra support on a variety of levels. So the beginning of the week, we're really looking at needing to connect in with that support team. They're going to help to really rev us up and rejuvenate us. We've got a bit of a trek ahead. So speaking of ahead, let's go on to the middle of the week. What can my friends expect from the middle of the week? Now, the middle of the week, we are looking at that lunar eclipse. We're looking at a little bit of a bumpier time, but a time to make decisions. The 2 of Wands. We go through life having to make some decisions. We're sitting at crossroads, and that's common. The lunar eclipse, it likes to kind of be a little bit abrupt because it likes to slam doors shut while opening others. We need to take some time and reflect on what is being shut and what is being opened. We need to start to look at that way forward. The Ace of Wands. 2nd wand in this trilogy that makes up the middle of the week. We're looking at that aha, that inner flame being fanned and amplified. Those opportunities are there. We just get caught up in that, woe is me. Oh my God, I can't believe And we miss out because we're stuck in the fear and heartache. Those opportunities, that inspiration, it's there. The middle of the week is going to be so fantastic. We just need to get over this. The Ten of Swords. That heartache, that fear, it's going to literally nail you into place. We are all carrying it, every single one of us. We all have fears of what ifs. We all have heartaches and pains of what happened in this lifetime and past. It's a lot. Now, the trick to this 10 of Swords, and you don't see it in this card, but in the original card that Pamela Coleman Smith drew, and she was very much the matriarch and grandmother of... Hi, Tanya. Yes, this is a group reading. She was the grandmother of tarot, where she's the illustrator of the Rider-Waite deck. Arthur Waite commissioned her to create the deck. Arthur was very connected to the major arcana, which we don't have right now. We'll get to it. They usually show up. But Pamela Coleman Smith was the minor arcana. She was the one who drew all of these pictures. But in the Ten of Swords that she drew, and this deck is taken off of her deck, you see this man impaled. It's a bloodless, like this one. It's hard to see because it's a red cloak, just like on her card. There's no blood here. This is a spiritual wound. These are the heaviness, the burdens that we carry. In that 10 that Pamela drew, she had the sun rising. We get so caught up in that heaviness and burden that we miss out on that new day. So it's really important that during the middle of the week, like I said, we don't get bogged down on what could happen, what has happened, how it's maybe making you feel uncomfortable or kind of in one of those spaces where you feel a little bit heavy. We need to embrace those opportunities. We need to continue weaving that pathway forward, that tapestry. It's going to bring more of a picture and an understanding of you. Let's go on to the end of the week. What can my friends expect? Dropping the whole deck. From the end of the week. Seriously? I gotta go get that card. All right. So we'll start with the one that hit the floor. The Nine of Wands. We're back to that wand. We're back to that fire and passion. We are going to need that inner flame. Now, the trick is that the lunar eclipse, the full moon, is going to fan it. We need to use that willpower and drive to our advantage, because without it, we're not going to be able to embrace these opportunities. We're not going to feel strong. We're going to feel a little bit wobbly. So using that inner willpower, that drive to really give us that backbone. Wandtastic here. The Three of Wands. The beginning of the week, the first card in this collection is the Two of Wands. We need to make some decisions, embrace the opportunities that the earlier part of the week brings us. And what's more, we need to actually put action to it. Without putting that action and momentum forward, we're not going to be able to embrace these opportunities. It's just like knowing that you should do something, but you never do it. There's always something that comes up. The Two of Cups. This is not about another individual or a relationship. This is about that relationship for self, strengthening and balancing out that divine feminine and divine masculine. We have both of these, no matter what gender you identify with. Everyone does. We just have a tendency to favor it. And yes, you know women who have favored that masculine energy. And we know men who favored female. And we know non-binary who do favor one over the other. And sometimes people will flip, and that's okay. It's whatever gender or energy that they're embracing. We need that balance within ourselves, though. We need that nurturing and compassion of the female, that feminine, and we need that stability and strength of the masculine. The end of the week, we may feel a little bit kind of wobbly and emotional because we're being blasted by the full flower moon into the end of the week. As the flower moon or any full moon kind of tails off, as it will around Friday, Saturday, we feel really emotional and spent. We need that masculine energy to pick us up a bit. In my Just You and Me playlist, I do have a meditation where I balance out that divine feminine and masculine within us, helping us to strengthen us. Oh, and we do have the double twos and angel messages. The angels are telling you to quiet your mind and listen to that intuitive energy, which is really important. That higher self will help you connect in to some amazing connections and aha moments. The Page of Swords. I love this page. He looks like he's saying, I dare you. Pages are that childlike, innocent energy. Interestingly enough, many times you'll see in decks that this is a card that is considered a daughter or a princess card. It has a tendency to be a feminine energy. Now, in this deck, they put it as a masculine. And interestingly enough, the knights are all women. I love this deck for it. No matter the gender, we need that balance. The important aspect here is that no fear, explorative, inquisitive energy. That sword, we're looking at the knowledge. There is a lot of knowledge. There is a lot of information and aha that this week is going to offer you. Whether it's connected to the lunar eclipse, through life experience, or should you quiet your mind, that higher vibrational self and the high vibrational support team you have. We need to have that innocent, childlike energy that isn't afraid to ask the questions and then look at the answer and go, does that make sense? But why? When we ask those questions, well, we get the answers. Whether we like the answers or not, we get information. And it's in that information that we need. Adding to their collectives of twos, the duality, the balance, the ahas of the Two of Swords. Like I said, that knowledge is all around you. The Two of Swords always has the eyes and the third eye blindfolded. She is just swinging her swords. And even Pamela Coleman Smith had the Two of Swords in a ready fight position. She had two swords held on her shoulders, ready to cut off whatever comes forward. She was in a prone position to fight. Same idea, different position. It's not so much that we need to fight anything or anybody. We just need to be prepared to take on that information and use it to our advantage. We don't want to resist it. In that resistance, that's where we need to ask the whys. Why do I struggle with this? What is it asking me? And what's more, what would the end result be? Because when we start to use our head over our heart, we get out of that fear, that what if, that heartache, and we can embrace the knowledge, those ahas for ourselves. So this week, it's going to be important, especially at the end of the week. We've got sword, I guess, kind of like the caboose of swords here, where we have that head versus heart. The beginning of the week, that's the only time we saw that cup, that emotion. We want that emotional rejuvenation, that emotional, well, hug, if you will. As we go throughout the week, that's when we're going to start to need to get that work done. We're going to have to start to connect in with us. We're going to start to ask those hard questions. All right. And I'm going to ask the hard question. I've kind of touched on it a bit here, but what challenge will my friends face for the week of May 23rd through the 29th? I appreciate it when I keep these on the table. The 8 of Cups. Of course, we're looking at that resistance, that reluctance to go inwards. The 8 of Cups always talks about that inner journey. Can I tell you how much I enjoy the fact it looks like he's going into the closet? The 8 of Cups talks about turning our backs on that physical world for a bit and checking out on the inside. We're going to have resistance. So it's a fearful, scary place. We've hidden many things, many aspects, talents, skills, yet these are the things that we need. When we have resistance, that's where, like I said, you have to ask those hard questions. Why do I have that resistance? What am I afraid of? What is the worst case scenario if I spend a little bit of time with me? And I know a lot of people are like, great, but how do I do that? What do I do? Do I go in a closet? And those are fair questions. Easy ways to start to connect in with self is through meditation. And a lot of people say that during meditation, you kind of shut off your brain. No. I always suggest guided meditation so that you can focus your brain. Focus your brain on a topic or healing. So depending on what makes sense for you. I have a number of meditations that can help you work on you. I have a number of getting unstuck meditations in my Just You and Me playlist. I have some stability ones. I've got a number of healing ones. You're not going to pick wrong. Because again, that's ego-based. Oh my God, what happens if I pick wrong? It's meditation, for crying out loud. You're giving yourself some time for you. We're not going to go in with a flashlight and try and shine a light on that inner self. That's not what this is about. It's about taking time with you, for you. And again, it goes back to that balance too, right? Even that meditation with balancing out the masculine and the feminine, it's going to go a long way in helping to strengthen you. You're going to start to connect more dots and have a better understanding of you. Because many of us can't fully connect in with what it is that brings us joy and happiness. Many of us cannot connect in and explain who it is we are. As we've gone on, we have hidden so many aspects of self. We bury it deep within us. It's time to ask those hard questions. That's why we have the end of pages. We have the Page of Swords. Ask those hard questions to get some answers. And I always suggest whenever you meditate that you bring your spiritual binder with you. Now, if you're new to my channel and don't know what I'm talking about, instead of having a little book where you're trying to write delicately in this little book, get a binder. You can put sections into it. You can put printouts, because you're going to start to see different things come forward. You're going to be doing like searches that we normally do, like a Google search, and you're going to keep having this page come up. Well, you can click on it and, well, that doesn't make sense. So print off the front page, print off the URL. We have to be open to messages that are hidden in plain sight, similar to the twos that we've been talking about. That's an easy thing to, oh, wow, I had a bunch of twos, yay, whatever. But those messages are hidden. The high vibrational beings can and do start to work on our technology, sending us messages. We just need to be open to them. The 8 of Pentacles. Now we have double 8s. When you see that multiple 8, the angels are telling you that something abundant and prosperous is coming your way. Well, it's funny. As humans, we always want the greatest and latest. We always want abundance. Yet, we get to a threshold or a point, and then we're like, I don't deserve this. This is too much. And we resist it. You're going to have that come up in this week. I'm not worthy of all this love and compassion, all this support from others. Heck, I actually don't need it. We are causing resistance to our growth. We're causing resistance to that abundance. And this is very true. We become oblivious and we ignore messages. We become oblivious to these opportunities. The 8 of Pentacles is a card of detail, a card of precision. Well, we start to ignore what's right in front of us. What would help us out the most? The Lovers, the 6th card in the Major Arcana. So the 2 of Cups is the everyday aspect of the Lovers, which is a major arcana, a major archetype. Like I said, we're going to have resistance to that abundance, to that love, that joy, that happiness. We become unworthy, which is a human fallacy. Because when we get to a point, we feel like there's just too much in our life that, well, how could one person really be worthy of this much wealth, love, compassion, friendship, knowledge? We're going to resist that on very many levels. And what's more, we're going to see that we're pushing away those who mean the most to us. We're putting up roadblocks, and we're already starting to impact in a negative way our communication with them. We need to be really mindful of what it is we're putting out there and what it is we're focusing in on. We, like I said, as humanity, like to focus in on that negative. We're kind of hardwired for it. When we see something bad happen, you get that rubbernecking. Oh, what's going on? We need to focus in and be more attracted to, which is something we're not, that higher vibration, that love, that light. Because when we're embracing that higher vibration, we ourselves start to vibrate and resonate on a higher level. It helps us to be able to embrace and see opportunities. People are attracted to us. We start to, things fall into place. Things go right for us. And we all know individuals who can manifest anything. They need it, they manifest it, boom, done, go. They seem to have everything they ever wanted. Everything goes right for them. The key? They're focusing in on that. What you put out is what you get back in. You focus in on wanting more challenge, more heartache, resisting things because you don't think you're worthy. That's what you're going to get. Challenge, you're going to get frustration. You're going to get decrease in that abundance. You switch perspectives. And this is a big part of what we're looking at this week. Starting to switch that perspective and switch that gear up to look at that fun, that joy, that light, that love. Knowing that, you know what? It may feel overwhelming to have such an amazing community. It may be really overwhelming to have all these ideas. It may feel overwhelming and a little uncomfortable, but some of these abundances start to roll in. We need to look at that discomfort and our thoughts and beliefs of that worthiness of self. I have a number of meditations with the archangels where we start to release some of that resistance, some of that limited thoughts and feelings that we have about self. We don't need to penalize or punish ourselves for having them. We don't want to make a big deal of it, and we really don't want to relive it. So starting to release some of that heartache and pain that it's brought us, releasing some of those thoughts and feelings in a global setting rather than a specific, helps us to start to feel lighter, more in control, and more able to make these high vibrational choices than be resistant to them. All right, so let's look at that high vibration. Let's get into a blessing. What blessing can my friends embrace for the week of May 23rd through the 29th? Cornucopia. Did I not say that the abundance is right there? Oh yeah. This week, no matter the challenges that it brings you, there are many opportunities for abundance. Should we be open to them? Like I said, that's another challenge that we have, is that we don't feel like we deserve them. We don't open ourselves up for them. The seer. When we look at going forward, when we look at mapping things out, taking guidance from someone can be really challenging, especially if it contradicts your current thoughts and beliefs. Again, no matter who they are, if things are really sitting uncomfortably with you and you have great resistance to it, use your head and check in. No matter what time of day it is, no matter who it is, their information should resonate on a high level with you. There are many colleagues that I would work in this field with that would push you into a direction that may not feel comfortable. Check into that discomfort. Reflect in and use your critical thinking skills. Ask those hard questions. Remember the Page of Swords. Where is this resistance coming from? What is causing me to be so resistant to it? And what would the end result be should I follow through? So let's look at that. If you're having resistance to this information, I've already talked about that. It's our limiting views of self, our beliefs of self. Where do they stem from? That's lifetimes of being minimized and pushed down. We're all carrying that baggage. What would happen if you didn't take this information? that abundance just doesn't come forward. I'm not asking you to do major leaps of faith. I'm asking from nothing. Any monetization that comes in or any advertisement that may come up during this session or this live stream, that's all YouTube. I don't receive any money from it. I ask nothing. The reason I do this is because we as humanity need to start to step it up a bit. We need seers who aren't going to pull those punches. And I want people to critically think. Ask those questions. Ask those questions of me. I will talk them with you. We'll go through it. I'm okay with that. Why? I combined different modalities with different science to get you what you need. I'm not looking at hocus pocus here. The high vibrational beings only support the science and that knowledge that can sustain that scrutiny. That scrutiny. I'm losing my voice from talking for so much. For those who are here live, I'm going to wrap it up. If you guys have any questions, like always, please feel free to write it in the comments and I will get through them as I finish up here. Okay, so we're going to end off on any further insight, guidance, and support that we can share with my friends for the week of May 23rd through the 29th. Okay. The Queen of Cups. We're looking at the second most intuitive card in the deck. And we've already talked about that need for that high vibrational, intuitional guidance. Using our head, using that frontal cortex, that front part of our brain, which means asking those hard questions and being open to the information that comes in. So if you ask a question and then something pops into your head, write it down. That's your high vibrational self trying to get the information out. If it's something that really feels a little bit funky, again, check into it. High vibration can withstand critical thinking. Low vibration cannot. So if it's your ego trying to get away with something, you can easily be able to vet that out. The Queen of Wands. We're back to that fire. We're back to that passion. Now, the Queen of Wands, and I go back to Pamela Coleman Smith a lot because these decks are, created from her deck. So they use the same imagery and symbolism. In Pamela's deck, the Queen of Wands is sitting on her throne. She's holding a sunflower, her staff, and she's got a little black cat sitting in front of her. And she's sitting in a yellow dress. She's like, I'm all regal. But she's not sitting like a woman would in 1910. Rather, she's sitting like a man. She's just owning it. And that is exactly what we need to do. We need to own ourselves no matter what we know about it. We need to use that to our advantage. Our skills, our talents, our passions. Giving ourselves time to engage in it so that we're getting out of our head. We're getting out of our way. When we are engaged in things that bring us joy and fulfillment, we're not hyper-focused in on that pain, that 10 of Swords. We're focused in on that passion, that creativity. That's when the high vibrational beings start to share their information, share their insight with you. We get out of our head and the universe starts to pour in that support. Now, obviously, we do have the double sisters here. Anytime you have that multiple 13, interestingly enough, it is the lunar number as well. So we have that very deep connection to the divine feminine. The angels are telling you that it is truly a time to quiet your mind, so that you're open to the insight, guidance, and wonders that your higher vibrational self needs to share. Going from the feminine to the masculine, we have, of course, Midas Touch himself. We're looking at the King of Pentacles. He reminds us not only of the cornucopia that this week is going to offer you, but he also reminds you of a very important factor. We need to make sure that we are grounded and stable during this week. If we're not, what's going to happen is that we're going to become destabilized. We're going to feel usually dizzy, lightheaded, and a little bit spacey. And sometimes people get very almost manic, where they're really going, because they don't have that connection to that grounded energy that's pulling them back. Throughout the week, you need to check into self about what it is we're resisting, check into how it is that we're, projecting our energies, what it is we're saying, what it is we're resisting, that type of thing. We also need to make sure that we are grounded. Easy ways to make sure that we are grounded, especially during the lunar eclipse, is to make sure that you partake in, I've got a number of grounding meditations during the beginning of your day. You start out grounded, and it's so easy to maintain that groundedness. And you can use crystals like this tiger iron to help you maintain that groundedness. Any red or black crystal will support you with that. The reason I like tiger iron so much is that it is red with black ribbing. Some may be black with red ribbing, but you know what I mean. It's got best of both worlds. And tiger iron feels weighty. Like if you were to take two crystals, whether or not they actually weigh more, it has that earthy feel to it, that very deep feel. Using that to our advantage. We're going to end off on the Ace of Pentacles. This week offers us a lot of abundance in all aspects of self, but it also offers us that opportunity to plant seeds as we go forward. When you start to plant those seeds, emerging aspects and pieces come forward throughout the days, weeks, and months to come. Think of it as, making sure that later in this year or later in the years to come, that you have what it is you need. We subconsciously do it, so it's not like we're going to have to try and figure anything out. We're going to naturally and subconsciously plant those seeds. So this week, even if we are resistant to all the wonders and joys that it is going to offer you, we are subconsciously planting those seeds that we're going to need for the future. Now, we do have multiple ones. In angel messages, that multiple one, the angels are telling you to believe in yourself and your abilities. So true this week. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today. And I hope that you found a little bit out about this week to come and how you can go about embracing all the wonders and joys for you. Now, like I said, I have a lot of supports on my YouTube page here, so please go check it out. And if you want, subscribe. I'm going to have more meditations coming up. And just as a little bit of a hint, more tools to come forward. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of meditation, but I will be bringing out other playlists that are going to support you in other ways. Additional tools to help you out with this journey. There is so much more to come, my friends. So the best way to stay connected so you don't miss out, of course, is hitting that bell so that you don't miss out. Subscribe, hit the bell, and then you get notifications when I post. So helpful. And of course, I also do have a Patreon page. So if you want first dibs on the meditations, as I did slip up when I said Hey guys, I'm back. To my Patreon friends, I do group readings for them as well. I have links below as for my Patreon page, and you can go check it out. I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that you enjoy this week. Until tomorrow, my friends.